Okay, we're up to Siman Kuf Lamed Daled. It's Hilchos Sukkah. People are building sukkahs already. So now we can learn now about sukkah.
Zeit leeft.
Yeah. It's just one thing I want to mention. I mentioned it already many times before Yontif, but there's a minhag that Erev Yom Kippur, especially by the Sulam of Sekas, you eat what they call krepchen. Krepchen means it's a little bit of meat that's put in between some dough, and you eat that. The minhag is also that Hoshana Rabbah es from krepchen. The minhag is also that on Purim es from krepchen. So the Velzog, how do you remember when you eat the krepchen? So they say that it's hake sake. When mishlokt, damos es from krepchen. So on Erev Yom Kippur mishlok kaporos, and Hoshana Rabbah mishlok teishainis, and Purim mishlok un hamen. So that's a simon. So the question is, what is the inyan? That's an remez for one to eat it. What's the inyan of it? So I explained once already that the inyan is as follows. Erev Yom Kippur is a yontif. Yom Kippur is a yontif, and Erev Yom Kippur is also a yontif. We don't say tachton Erev Yom Kippur. Hoshana Rabbah is also a yontif. It's the Gemara of the Chsima. And Purim, of course, is a yontif. A yontif, the din is you have to eat meat. Because in the Beis HaMikdash, when people they ate meat. Today, Bizman Hazeh, it's not so much meat. Bizman Hazeh, there's a din l'mashal Chal Moed to drink wine. But the real minhag was to eat meat. So, but these three Yom Tovim, even though they're Yom Tovim, but they have something unique about them. A Yom Tov is also a malacha. And on these three Yom Tovim, you're allowed to do malacha. So it's a little bit of a stiradik. Here you say it's a Yom Tov, and maybe it's a Yom Tov you should eat meat. And here you say that it's not a Yom Tov, you're allowed to do malacha. So therefore, you eat meat, but you hide the meat. That's the inyan of the krepchen, that you're hiding the meat in the dough. Okay. The Rebbe in the Maas, I think, writes up a Kabbalistic reason also for it, but I don't remember exactly what it is. Huh?
Meat is gvuris.
No, okay, but so it says of it, Hilchos Sukkah, Uvoy Tezvav Siva.
Last time I missed it because
Mitzvah livness as a sukkah, miyad b'yayim shel achar Yom Kippurim. That right after Yom Kippur, over here he says, miyad b'yayim shel achar Yom Kippur. Before we go into that they build a sukkah Matzah Yom Kippur. So Masama, the chiluk or the svara is because it depends if you have light or not. Not everyone had electricity, so on the day after Yom Kippur, there's daylight. Afilu Erev Shabbos. The mitzvah yod al yachmitzanu. Don't let it become chometzdik. In other words, chometz vert if something lays, if you don't do anything. So you should build the sukkah. V'yivcha mokum noki la'amida sham, you should pick a clean place. A clean place, of course, means because in Morgenzeiten, everybody had a little farm of their own. So there was animals and chickens that became part of the household, so to say. Mitzvah al kol adam yasek v'atzmoy v'asiyas hasukah u'banochas hasak. That everyone should be personally involved in making the sukkah and the schach. Yafal pishu adam nichpud izel kavod. It's not a hepach covered. That's the covered that you're. But the mitzvah is chosherer than you are. So. She'oisik ba'asper b'mitzvah u'min aroi hoyo u'vorach shechiyanu al asiyas hasukah elo she'onu Soimchem ala shechiyonu she'emim v'kiddush v'yahada l'yapes as a sukkah u'ana oisa. You should beautify the sukkah. That's what they call nois sukkah. A kelim noim u'matzois nois kefi koicha.
Why would you have to make a shechiyonu making the sukkah?
It's a mitzvah,
because it's the simcha of the. It's the simcha of the mitzvah. It's simcha. Bagulav also. Bagulav, the Lashon in the Mishnah Sukkah is a Oisa Sukkah, Oisa Lulav, Mevara Shechiyanu. Yeah. Well, no, we don't do it. We hold it. That's why. It's a popular question that they always ask. The first night of Sukkot, so we make a bracha leishav sukkah, and then we make a bracha shechiyonu. The next night of Sukkot, we make a bracha of leishav sukkah, of shechiyonu, and then leishav. What's the reason? And the mashal, the same is also by the lulav. By the lulav, you make a bracha on the tilas lulav, and the second day, and shechiyanu, and the second day by lulav you don't make a shechiyanu. Why don't you make a shechiyanu? So the answer that they give is, Marshall, let's say
because the shvika the yami, you should make a shechiyanu.
Yeah. Let's say the Marshall Shavuos. Shavuos, you have 2 day Shavuos. When you make Kiddush, you make Shechiyonu both days.
That's not the Sveka D'Yema.
No. So why isn't the Sveka D'Yema also applied to the Lulav?
Because...
and why does the Sveka D'Yema apply to the
Sukkah? Sukkah more than to the Lulav.
The time is Azay. The time is because if you built a Sukkah and before Sukkot, you can make a shechiyonu then. So maybe says, what's Sveka D'Yema? Sveka D'Yema means, it's a suffix, is today the day of Yontiv, or is tomorrow the day of Yontiv? And if today is not the day of Yontiv, still you can make a shechiyonu on the mitzvah, that you acquire the mitzvah. The same thing is also by lulav. Then you could make a shechiyonu b'shas you put together the lulav, the daled minim. So Mela say even if the day is not yontif, you yaitz the shechiyonu. Therefore, when it comes to Kiddush, the first night we make a bracha leishav b'sukkah and shechiyonu. Why? Because we want that the shechiyonu should go on the sukkah. The second night already we're not concerned that the shechiyonu should go on the sukkah, because even if it's not sukkahs, you made the shechiyonu already.
But once in a while we bake matzah, we don't make a shechiyonu.
Right. When you buy a shofar, you also don't make a shechiyonu.
You're making the matzah.
And you make a shaykhah.
So what's the difference?
Matzah,
Okay, it's a silence. Find the teretz.
matzah you don't do it because you're sad.
There's no.
You're sad when you pay for matzah. Not a happy
Right,
reaction.
right. Okay, but
The question is, when you sit this week, you become a mitzvah. So mitzvah, everybody took like you made.
Right. But once you made the problem the first time, it's finished.
Why?
You can't take a China. You can't take a pomegranate and make 10 times the shachiano on the same pomegranate. Once you made it,
They
you
make
made
the
it.
mitzvah that you
No.
make.
Okay, be'inyan
They
dafne,
both nice, both is shachion.
be'inyan dafne sukkah. Regarding the walls of the sukkah, yesh harbe chaluk dinim. There are many details. Ve'ein hakol b'kiyim. Not everyone is bucket. Alkein, therefore, tzich and rasa is the fanei shreimes v'chazakos shreihei haruach magia mania oisam. In other words, there's different dinim by the walls. There's how much of a wall do you need? Do you need 4 walls, or do you need 3 walls and a mashal, or could there be a space on the bottom? That are different dinim by sukkah. So he says that you should make strong walls, that they shouldn't be blowing in the wind. That's why there's a lot of people have tinus about the canvas sukkahs. They had to make it is because it's on a frame, and the frame is connected all around it. So even though it's a little movable, but it's considered a strong wall.
No, but what they do is they have now, they put a belt to make it every 3 times. So that way it's
But
considered.
yeah, those pop-up sukkahs,
Umi she'enoi died sochos with fanas. If someone doesn't have enough material to make proper walls, mutav sheyase shorish shleimus me'ava she'enim shleimus. It's better to make 3 complete walls than 4 that are not complete. Umishi yodem masega is someone that could afford it. Mitzvah shetira sukkah benuyo in gagos sheniftochim v'nisgorim ayidei tzidim. That means that they have a hinges that you could pull it up and let it down. L'sagram, in order to close them, b'shas hagshomim, u'k'sheposku hagshomim niftochim hagagos, v'aschach hu noguv, the schach is dry, v'yochel kayim mitzvah sukkah karo, because you can feel comfortable. Otherwise, even if you go out of the sukkah when it's raining, but when you come back, even if it's not raining, but there's still the water's dripping from the schach, so you don't feel comfortable in the sukkah.
That's the most fun.
What you have to remember, of course, with these what they call a shrak, that if they used to make them different in many ways. The simplest way is to have an awning, and you roll up the awning, and then you unroll it, and as long as it's open a tefach, so Shabbos there's no shayla of oil. The thing Shabbos is that you could be moisef all the oil. You can't make an oil, but you can be moisef on the oil. So maybe you have an awning, let's say. So if you leave it open a little bit, a tefach just, so then you could extend it all the way and cover the sukkah. People used to make these type of coverings. They used to make it like he says over here, to use hinges. what's the idea of hinges? The idea of hinges is that if let's say that this is the sukkah, and over here you put in a hinge, and you attach this here, so then you could go up, let's say, on the next floor, and pull a rope, and pull this up, and maybe pull it up so it's covered. But what you have to be careful is that if you have such a, that was the old, today's more modern, and people are more modern.
Yeah, but how, yeah, go ahead.
So you have to be careful to make sure that you pull it up all the way. Because if you don't pull it up all the way and it's this way, so...
Well, what happens if you put it up all the way, you don't have a problem with oil later?
Yeah, but
No.
If you're all the way up, then you don't have no tefach.
No, it's...
The hinge is a tefach.
Yeah.
There are a piece of water.
The hinge is a tefach.
you put a piece of wood on the top.
Beginning.
Yeah.
So it doesn't start all the way to the wall, it starts in a little bit to the sukkah.
Yeah, you have to know...
Yeah, then put a piece of wood on top of
Today, Baruch Hashem,
this
sukkahs became popular. And people spend money and they buy nice sukkahs and everything. Am Morgenzeiten, how did we make sukkahs years ago? I remember also, we used to go into the basement and search for old doors. And we put together these old doors. And you know, it looked like every wall had a few different colors on them because it depends the way the room was painted, you know. You know, so it was a lot of things.
Now they have in the house. The roof goes to the side.
Oh, not only that, they have. I saw already in houses where they have like a room, an extension room, that the roof comes off, but not only that, it has also a sensor that if it begins to rain, it closes up. That's already more advanced.
So this would have air conditioning in Florida.
Yeah.
This really heat the sukkah.
Gam b'schach yesh kama dinim. Regarding schach, there are also many dinim. B'kiven shonu noigim l'sachech ba'anfa ironis oy bekanim. We use these certain branches, or kanim is like pieces, like slats of wood. Kim shem gidulei karka, v'heim tulushim, v'einim mekabel tumah, v'einim keshurim yachad. It doesn't any of these problems. Is therefore ein behem shum shash. So there's no shash.
That's the problem now with the mats, because they are tied together. The question what they're tied together with.
No, it's not that. The problem is not more with the mats. The problem, if you have, let's say, a bundle of bamboos, let's say, yeah. So if you didn't untie it and put on the whole bundle and another bundle next to it, that's not good.
Because?
It shouldn't be tied together.
Because they're tied.
Yeah. But Morgenzeiten, people used to use like thin slats.
Yeah, 1 by 2, Leislach.
Less than 1 by 2. It was think that Morgenzeiten they used the walls.
Oh, the slats.
They used to use like slats.
I have slats in my house from the previous.
And they would plaster. They would use it, and they would use that. They would plaster on top of it.
Right.
So
they painted them green.
Oh. Good for the sukkah.
the problem with the mats is what they made for, let's say, for window dressing or what, or were they made not for becomes a keli then. So that's why they have a hechsher that these ones that they sell have a hechsher that they were not made for furniture, for other things.
Either way, they made it shine.
So what they connected, what string they connected.
It all depends what they're connected with.
לכתחילה, רואי להחמר, שלא להניח על הסוכה דבר מקבל טומאה. That you shouldn't put on the sukkah a double makabel tumah. sheyaniach orov as asrach. Kegain sumas sheyesh behem beis kibul hashrivus. This means that this is a very practical shayla. When you make a sukkah, so the vinyl sukkahs, the vinyl material, the canvas material, so they make a frame. The frame is metal. So it becomes a shayla, and on top of that, you put the schach.
Right.
So it's called a maimed. So the shayla is, are you allowed to put the schach on it? The answer to that is that you should cover it.
A piece of wood.
The frame should be covered, and b'meila, this is already, the schach is not on the iron, but it's on. There's always people always ask a question, if you, especially those who use the mats have a problem that if there's a wind, they can fly off like pancakes. Just the whole thing can fly off. So there's a question, could you tie down the schach? What? So I always give people an eitzim, then become shaylas when you want to tie down the schach. What is the rope made from? Is the rope made from a material which is a double makabel tumah? So I give an eitzim to people that ask me that shayla, that after you put on the mat, take let's say a 2x3 piece of wood, lay it across the sukkah, and tie that down to the sukkah. So that's called a maimed de maimed. A maimed de maimed is no problem. So it can't blow up, it can't fly off, and you have no showers with it.
Sandwich like that, though.
Huh?
So
No, tie it down.
you have one on the top anyway to take the first one. then you put
Tie
another
it down
one,
to the wall.
yeah.
Tie that board down to the wall, and it will hold the schach firm.
Put 2x4.
Yeah, but
So I
sometimes
said
the
2x3,
flies
okay,
also,
yeah.
But if he ties it down, yeah, it doesn't mean that.
Because they're weight.
Not enough.
No, it's not enough. It picks up all. It
The
picks up.
wind,
No.
The wind picks up the thing. If you tie it down like that, that's good. That's a good idea.
Now he talks over here. He talks about putting a ladder for the schach. In other words, we're talking always, you put out woods like, okay? You make like a frame with woods, and then that whole, and on that you lay the schach. So some people used to use a ladder. A ladder has two sides, and it has the steps. So l'chayre, it's a pshute kliyes. In other words, the two sides are a straight piece of wood, and the steps are also a straight piece of wood. So there's no keli there. It's not a keli.
And he said the steps go in.
So he says that the place in the wood over here, in the long one, there's cut in, and the steps go into that cut in. That cut in makes that one piece of wood a klei kibul. Remember, it's a klei kibul, so it's makabel tumah. That's what he said. Look at the words again over here, you'll see it. L'tchila roi l'hachma sh'leganiach al ha'sukkah davar makabel tumah. She'yaniach olav ha'schata. You put the schach on top of it. Kegain. He gives an example. What's an example of a davar makabel tumah? Kegain sulmus. A ladder. Why can't you use it? Because sheyesh behem beis kibul hashrivas. Because in the side pieces, there's indentations to hold the steps. Because kein shar kelim, kegain mora umagrefa, like to put a shovel on it or other things. So that's mamash a keli. V'afilu litin oisam al-aschach l'hachzikai. Even if you just want to hold it down, so you're putting weight onto holding it down, yesh l'hachma. Ub'di'eved, oy she'ein loy sha'advarim is mutter, because the kaimelon the mutter lahamid as a schach, b'davar makabel tumah. So this is called a maimed. So you gotta hold the schach, but don't. But the answer that I'm giving you, Moshe, with the water, so over there, it's a maimed, the maimed.
Yeah, because it's not even a keli. That.
Yeah. Tzorach aniach schach ad tehei tziloso meruba mechamso. You have to put enough schach that if the sun is shining, so under here it will be the shade. Of course, the shade will be more than the power of the sun. Sheim hayechamosa meruba mitziloso psulos pasal min haTorah. Well, chein tzrichon rizoy v'aniach kol kach she'afilo v'achar she'yishabesh. You're using grass or things that grow from the ground. So once they get touch from the ground, they begin to dry. Once they begin to dry, they begin to shrink. So you have to put it. You have to take that in consideration. That shafilu akshi shabbos tetzilosa meruba. Gam tzrichen rizor. You also have to be careful. Shehaybe makam echad avre gimel tvachim. That there shouldn't be an empty space in the schach of 3 tvachim. U'etchila tzara shehei avik tzas bein haschach k'dei sheyira hakechavim. In other words, you shouldn't put so much that you can't see the stars. U'mikol makom im hoysam mu'uva. If it was thick, shehein hakechavim nirim is kesheira. In the Lubavitch, the minhag is that they put a lot of schach. Avol im hoysam mu'uva kol kach shafilu im yordim gisham harbe einem yordim l'toichon im kein havi kein bias upsul, and that will be possible.
So you shouldn't put the muschach.
Huh?
So you shouldn't put the muschach.
What?
That means you shouldn't put the muschach.
You shouldn't put very much.
Not caught.